I don't see our politicians changing a great deal, at least not for a while. Do you have any suggestions for protecting yourself individually while this happens?
Yes. I'm not an alarmist, but over the past 4 months, I've become more of a realist about what's facing me and all of us. And in fact, it's on my to-do list in the next couple of weeks to create a survival list. And when I say survival list, I'm not talking about, the end of the world and we have to go out and live in the woods. But I'm talking about things like you should have 90 days of food supply in your house for your family. You need to have a weapon. You need to be able to defend yourself. You need to have access to water. Because when this occurs, if it occurs, and I'm a pastor, and I'm praying wholeheartedly for the future of my children that this does not occur, hence the whole reason I'm doing this. We get enough information, enough attention pointed to the problems here, we can get results. But when this does happen, there will be a cataclysmic failure of services throughout the country. When people no longer have access to credit, because we live in a 7-day, all manufacturing, all retail, all distribution outlets operate on a 7-day real-time delivery system. So when you go to Walmart, that product was packaged within the last 7 days. And so because there is such a short supply chain or such a small distribution capacity in terms of storage, you're going to just see a run on the food, you're going to see a run on the gas, you're going to see a run on cash. And so I would recommend things like having 90 days, having your medications up to date, having certain medicinal things that you can keep in your closet for a year that you may need. Because when it happens, it's not going to be pretty. And it doesn't matter how much money you have. If it's not in Walmart, you can't buy it. And so that's when it happens, you'll see it coming, but it will, it's going to be a lot of talk. But we, for whatever reason, we Americans, even when we see the storm, we just rather go have a party. And so we just don't get alarmed until it's too late, and then we start panicking, and then we start blaming. And so, that's what we're looking at doing in my family, and I'm recommending to my friends is, nothing extravagant, nothing Y2K, but just have 90 days of food supply in hand, and medicine, and your records in order. Yes, sir.
How many government employees is it going to take to enforce this 1099 rule? Who's going to pay for it?
No one knows. The IRS themselves asked the Congress to repeal it. IRS says, we don't even know how many forms that is. It could be 40 billion forms, and we just have no clue. And we have no way of managing that paperwork load.
They've already hired about 19,000 extra already, haven't they?
Yes, but that's to help take care of Obamacare.
Right. That's
armed agents.
Yes, ma'am.
If the fiat money, as you call it, is worthless, what are we going to trade for?
No, the fiat money will be like Germany. Instead of $50, we'll say 500, and 500 will say 5,000.
So you'll be taking a wheelbarrow to the store. Okay.
And then you want to lock your wheelbarrow because that's the only thing that has value. Yes, sir.
You go to places like in the Mideast right now, like Jordan, Syria, and places like this, there are $200,000 bills that are equal to 50 of our cents. And that's in the economy right now in these Middle Eastern countries and some other ones. It's out there.
Well, Zimbabwe, I heard someone say Zimbabwe, the highest inflation rate in currency history. I mean, and it was, I can't remember all the details, but it was within a couple of days or a couple of weeks, it went from a real dollar to like absolutely worthless. Nobody wanted it. They were using it to make fireplaces with, So.
Well, what were they trading with?
They went back to the old school trading. Hey, I got a horse, will you give me your pig? That sort of thing. So, I just want to encourage you. I don't want to be, I'm an alarmist for a good reason, because there's something to be alarmed about. But on the other hand, America truly is still the wealthiest nation on the earth. We have not hit the top of the peak. We're not about to fall off. We're heading that way quickly. But if we can get it under control and we can reduce spending, which spending is truly the problem, and we start paying back our debts, even if it's just, a few $100 million a year, we will have stopped this train wreck from occurring. And so it's just a matter of educating the American people. I am 100% sold out that if the American people knew information like this, not just my book, that we would not be having these races that are, 45, 46% split. That it would be a clear-cut win, because Americans, by and large, are conservative people. They, by and large, want to work, and they want the right to be able to keep what they earn with their own hands. And so it's just a matter of education. And unfortunately, it's left up to the Tea Party groups, to the conservative organizations who want to save America. We're the ones left with the handle because our education system won't do it. And so we're not going over the deck tomorrow. But the CBO says by 2020 we don't see it going past it if something doesn't change. And even if something does change, but we don't change Medicare, and Social Security, CBO says 2053, it's all she wrote. It will take 100% of the GDP to pay for Social Security, Medicaid, and Medicare. That means 100% of all of the income that we all earn in 1 year just to pay 12 months of those two programs. And they're saying by the year 2035 is when you're going to start seeing it become really bad. And of course, if you listen to the news, you know this year was the first year Social Security paid out more than it took in. And so we're already heading down that road. Anybody else?
Brian, just reference your website so we
Okay.
know where to go and kind of what's on the website.
Well, our website is boogai.net. That's B-O-O-G-A-I. Many people say, where in the world did you get that name? Well, you can thank my, yes, you can thank my girl. She was about 7 or 8 months old on the changing table, and I'm changing her, and we always played games. And she just got real still. She went, Boogai. And I went, oh, that's a beautiful word. I'm gonna go get it. So I went and got boogai.com and boogai.net. And boogai.com is going to be something else that I hope to do one day. But it's just it's a news website. It's an informative website. It's been growing. I mean, in the last 90 days, especially in the last 45 days, our website has just gone through the roof. Our server was shut down for 3 hours because of too many people coming to it. It just stopped it. And we've been referenced by we're now linked to by over 10,000 websites. And so our goal really is to focus on bills that are going through Congress. To dig out, that's where the CLEAR Act came from, is that Carmen and some other people got together. Carmen is the one you need to have here about the CLEAR Act. I told her that. I'm too busy to get on that one right now. But we have a number of articles coming out next week. Next week is all election week. And so we have a number of articles that are real fun, sarcastic in nature, and teaching and education. Our biggest thing about Boogai is this. We will not speak ill of President Obama like a lot of people do. He is our president. We will respect the office of the president regardless of who holds it. But I will tear his policies to shreds. And I will not hold back. And that's where we identify ourselves. We're not going to be a lot of conservative sites that just want to call names. And it just, to me, it belittles their intellect. It comes across as I'm panty-anty, and we're just not like that. So our goal is to create an intelligent debate like Jefferson and Adams and everything that we report. So, yes, ma'am.
Yeah, would you spell Boogai?
Yes, ma'am. It's BOOGAI.
G-A-I.
.net.
Okay, thank you.
And I know GAI is pronounced gay in America, but in Asia it's pronounced guy. So I take the Asian pronunciation.
Very